Hello students, and welcome to another algebra lesson with Mr. Graves. Good to be able to teach you here today, and trust this will be a help to you. We're going to talk about radical equations today. A radical equation really is an equation that has a variable that is a radicand actually. We will be talking about that and showing you just in these examples how to be able to find what the answer is. When our variable is under a square root sign or a radical, we got to be a little bit savvy in what we're doing here to make sure we get that somehow by itself still and work it out. So let's show you how to do that. Our first problem is simply the square root of 10, or square root of x equals 10. And what we want to do is we want to find what our value is of x. Okay. Now in doing that, in this particular problem, what we're going to do is, in order to get rid of that square root sign, we have to square both sides, okay? And the reason we square both sides is because the square root of x, all right, what does square root of x squared mean? Well, it means that the square root of x is stamped how many times, class? 2, all right? So the square root of x times the square root of x, basically, just showing you over here, is the square root of x squared, right? And what is the square root of x squared? Well, it's x, all right? So that means that the left side is going to be x, but the right side, remember in algebra, whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other. And you have to keep everything in balance. So what is 10 times 10? Well, it's 100, all right? So the square root of x equals 10 means that if we were to plug in 100, square root of 100 is equal to 10. Is that a true statement? Yes, it is. And we just found out what our answer is. All right, it's 100. Let's take a look at this next problem here. All right, we have our equal sign here, but we have a number over on our left side that is on the same side as the radical. And what we want to do is take everything that is not the radical or part of it and put it over on the other side. Well, this 8 needs to go on the other side, okay? Now, we're not going to mess with this negative 3 because x minus 3 is together and can't be ripped or pulled apart because it's all under the same radical. But the 8 can be moved, and we want to move it. Now, it is a positive 8, so what is the opposite of a positive 8 to get rid of it? Well, it would be a negative 8. So whatever we do to one side, we do to the other side. So 8 minus 8 is 0. So all we have left on the left-hand side is basically the square root of the radical, x minus 3. 4 minus 8 is going to be a negative 4, okay? So again, we've done our math right. We've gotten that 8 on the other side. Now the only thing we have left is the radical on the one side. Once we get to that point, we do the same thing that we did over here, except this was just a single letter, okay? Here we have a binomial under the radical sign. But it doesn't mean we don't do the same thing, because we do. We take the whole thing and we square it. And over here, this negative 4, we square that as well. Okay, so whatever we do to one side on the left of the equal, we do on the other side on the right of the equal. Okay, now the square, x minus 3, square root of x minus 3 squared is what? Well, whatever's under the radical, x minus 3. Okay, just like right here. All right, when we squared whatever was under the radical, it was itself. Okay, so x minus 3 is what it becomes, equals a negative 4 stamped twice. A negative 4 times a negative 4 is a positive 16. All right, and then we add 3 to both sides. We want to get x by itself. All right, so the opposite of that is a plus 3. So x is equal to 19, and that's our answer. All right. 19 minus 3, and if you check it, you find out, obviously, the square root of that, and then you add 8, you get a 4. All right? Let's do this one here. 2x plus 5 equals 8. The radical is on the left-hand side, and that's the only thing that's there, so we don't need to move anything. So let's go ahead and let's square it, and let's do the same for the right side. The square root of 2x plus 5 squared is what? Based on the first two problems, whatever's inside. 2x plus 5. 8 times 8 is 64. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. We get 2x is equal to 59. We divide by 2, and we get 59 halves. X is equal to 59 halves. All right? So there's our answer. And again, it would work if you plugged it back in. All right, let's try this one here. It looks as though we've got a couple of things outside of our radical. Let's get them out of the way, all right? There's a negative 10. We want to get rid of that. All right, so we subtract 10 from both sides. We get negative 2 square root x equals 0 minus 10 is a negative 10. Do we have everything that's not a radical on the other side? No, we don't. We still have a negative 2, don't we? That's kind of in the way. Remember, the only thing left needs to be what's under the radical. Then we can do the squared, and the squared, and the squared, okay? You have to move everything over to one side first. Please don't forget that, okay? Well, we have a negative 2 next to a square root of x. That means multiplication. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by a negative 2. This cancels. We have a square root of x equals 5. Negative 10 divided by a negative 2 is a positive 5. All right? Now we're ready because the only thing that we have left is the radical. So we're going to square both sides. Square root of x squared is x equals 25. And that is our answer. Based on even our curriculum, what do? When we solve radical equations, isolate the radical on one side of the equation, just like I did for a few of these. We square both of the sides, we solve the equation, and then of course you can check your solution to make sure that you did it right. Hopefully this lesson on radical equations was a help to you. Thank you now, and take care. Bye.